What's going on, guys? OhDough here, and today I'll be discussing a game called Crucible, which is from the folks at Amazon Game Studio, and that's pretty crazy because it's freaking Amazon. Like, that's kind of wild to me. Now, Crucible the game has 10 different characters with different abilities, different playstyles, and just way different kits that suit different situations. And there's also 3 different game modes right now that you can use different characters, different team comps, and all kinds of stuff to really shine and show how you've mastered a certain character. Now, I'm going to go ahead and explain the characters really quickly. I'll probably make more in-depth videos on these characters later. I'm pretty sure. I won't promise it, but I'm pretty sure. But to get started, we have Cezanne, which I like to call her Susan. It's pretty simple like that. And she cycles between an electro knife, shotgun, and an inertia gun. And from playing her kit a little bit, I'm pretty sure this character is really good at skirmishing, and she's just a lot of fun to play. Next up, we have Drakal. This is a melee-focused character that does have, I think, 2 ranged abilities, but mostly he just swings on a giant axe and does damage. He has some lifesteal capabilities, and he inflicts dots with some attacks. And to sort of keep the trend of close range characters going, I'm going to go ahead and list off Shakiri. This is another skirmisher type hero. She has a Starlock pistol sword, which means you can swap between either having the pistol out or the sword out, and that just gives you options on if you want to have sword out. I think it's more mobility, which is kind of nice. The pistol's, it's range, so that's always nice to have. And she also has a really good amount of support and just defensiveness to her that other heroes, or I guess Essence Hunters, might not have, which is kind of nice. There's also a character named Summer, and she has 2 custom-built flamethrowers she can toss fireballs with, or just, use flamethrowers and do flamethrower things with. But the cool thing is, these are actually a risk and reward type weapon, and they can overheat. Tosca is a raccoon with a shotgun that can also use the ability to teleport short distances, aka a blink, to either create or decrease distance between her and her foes. Bug is the robotic Teemo of Crucible. It can create plant turrets as to water to activate, and it also has slowing capabilities, and the other part is it can create shields for its teammates and itself. Now keep in mind this character is pretty weak, so you're going to have to play pretty safe sometimes. And moving on, we have Captain Mendoza, which is a very well-rounded classic soldier type for Crucible. He can run and gun with an assault rifle, very consistent DPS, can call down cover and also med kits for teammates, and he's just an overall consistent character for damage and utility for the team. Now, if you're looking for a tanky character, you can pick up Earl. This is a corn-fed, country-grown character in the Crucible. He is a giant dude, very tanky. He's got a quad cannon, and he's got mobility, some heal mechanics, and he's just a pretty interesting character if you're looking for the tank archetype in this video juego. Rahi and Brother is also a tanky playstyle if you're looking for that kind of thing, and you can use this character to create shields for yourself and for your teammates, but I will say he does lack great mobility, at least from what I've seen. So keep that in mind because mobility in this game is very crucial. And I've saved the best for last, the most intricate, well-designed, just dynamic character the game has to offer. This is a Jonah. This is the Widowmaker of the Atlantis. It's just a character with a sniper. They have mines. They have a grappling hook. The grappling hook's pretty cool, but it's just a sniper for all intents and purposes, and moving forward. Once you have a character that suits your playstyle, it's time to pick out amp upgrades. Wait, this isn't WildStar. It's time to pick up amps that actually increase and enhance your character's abilities, and in some cases, your character's basic attacks, which is pretty freaking huge. And these upgrades can increase your survivability, your damage output, and your overall utility for your team and for yourself. And if you want to see these characters do, just hover over the abilities and their upgrades just to see what's going on, just to pick out what might suit your playstyle better. And I will probably be making videos for these characters, like I said, in the future. And just in case you don't pick the right amps you want when you're in the character select screen, when a match starts, you have a chance to change around your amps or your upgrades very quickly. And I'm going to keep saying amps, it's a freaking habit from WildStar. I apologize. After having your upgrade selected, it's time to actually earn these upgrades by getting levels in the game. And this is done by getting essence, which can be gathered from killing spitters, and also the 4-legged creatures, which I don't know the name of. I'm going to go ahead and call them mutals, and also from killing players. There's also these essence harvesters, I think on most game modes, that give you essence over time. So those are some of the ways to get essence, and it's important to get this essence efficiently because that's how you get levels, which give you amp upgrades or whatever you want to call it. And you also get other benefits like increased damage and I think increased health for being higher levels, among probably some other things that I'm not fully aware of. So it's important you're being efficient with this sort of aspect, and that's where knowledge of this game really comes in handy because there's a lot that goes into this game. There's a lot of objectives that I'm not really sure of, main objectives, side objectives, all kinds of stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm still not sure what some of these objectives are, what their indication is, and how useful they are, but I do know that good players understand that stuff, and it really does make a difference if you know all the small things. But being the small Crucible-brained gamer I am, I'm gonna go ahead and focus on the actual easy to understand things, such as the main objectives in a game mode. And I'm gonna go ahead and read off the 3 different game modes. The first one being Alpha Hunters. This is a battle royale mode that faces you and a partner against everyone else. So in similar battle royale fashion, you want to win by killing everyone else, and that's how you pretty much secure the chicken dinner. Now, if your teammate dies early, you can do a cool thing by creating a temporary alliance with someone else if they agree to it. This alliance does end once you reach top 3, which makes it a free-for-all between you and 2 other gamers. The next mode is Harvester Command, and this is where 2 teams of 8 race to capture 100 Essence by holding Essence Harvesters. So it's pretty close to domination. You want to hold an objective for as long as you can, and you also want to hold as many objectives as you can. They can get stolen, and you want to take them back. Things like that. And in this case, I've pretty much saved the best mode for last because this is the most popular mode among the testers as far as I can tell, and this is Heart of the Hives. This is a 4v4 race to destroy giant hives and capture their hearts. The first team to capture 3 of these hive hearts actually wins the game. I think I want to give a bit more detail on this game mode just because it is super enjoyable, and I can kind of see why the testers like it so much. And I think the reason why is because there's so much counterplay based on just the heart of the hive alone. Like you have this giant PvE objective that can attack the players attacking it with projectiles. If you're melee, it can create thorn patches. It can also knock you back. And once it's destroyed, there's also the whole goal of capturing the heart itself, which is at cast time, you have to hold on the objective to pick it up. And to cancel that, you either kill the person capturing it or you melee them off the objective, which is a pro tip I didn't know about until we lost the game because of it. So there's that much for you. And I actually want to give a bit of detail on some of these starting events and some other events that happen in the game that are pretty easy to explain and also very helpful to know. So for starting events, you have things like spitter colonies and also stomper herds. And this is just a dense colony of either type of these creatures, and killing them all gives you a really good amount of essence because they're so tightly packed. This is a very good way to farm these sort of things at the early game and also towards later parts of the game. And there's also a supply cache which drops a cluster of medkits to aid you in a mission. And medkits are insanely valuable. When you don't have them, you will freaking know. But for medkits, you can carry around 3. I think some players can carry 4. And they heal you over time, and they can be used before battle to actually have the heal over time going while the fight's taking place, making it so you can actually heal up and make sure the fight isn't so imbalanced because you're missing some health. And the last bit after medkits is make sure your team is medkitted out of their freaking brains. Like if you see someone to pick up, you can carry, pick them up. If you see something for your teammates and you're full, ping them for your teammates to pick up, because having these during a fight is insanely valuable. And also I want to cover some major events which help me out a ton during my matches, but I still don't fully comprehend how some of them work because some of them I just didn't really do myself, since some things you do affect your whole team and others only affect yourself. So to quickly cover some of these, you have damage boost pods, which are these little red capsules around the map. Pick them up to get a tiny boost of extra damage. There's also green capsules, which are health boosts, which give you more health. And there's also things like medkit amplifiers, which give you more medkit carrying capacity, which explains why some characters might have 4 medkits and others might have 3. It's just this amplifier, or this event, I guess. And lastly, something called regeneration amplifiers, and this is where objectives are dropped around the map that confer continuous regeneration bonus of 5 health per second to a hunter and their team once captured. That might not sound like a lot, but you do not regenerate health continuously on most characters, and that is very noticeable when you don't have medkits. So having health regen like this can be a game changer, especially in long drawn out fights. So that is Crucible in a nutshell. It's not every little thing, but it is most of the stuff that's important to know when you start the game. The characters, the game modes, some of the objectives. That is more than I knew, and it should give you a decent edge on players that don't watch my videos. So, like and subscribe. But I will say in closing that this game is fun to play. I enjoy it a lot, and I think there's a lot to learn in this game, which is also important to me. I don't like the fact that a lot of games nowadays just feel very similar. And in this one, I love the fact that it's actually ability-based. There are 3 different game modes, which means there's a lot of variety, and it just means that the players will have more to experience out the gate than you would in most games, because it seems nowadays that the common trend is to only have 1 game mode and a couple characters, which I understand, I respect it, but I do like the fact this game is going a bit further than that, and they're giving you a lot of variety and a lot of choice out the gate. Now, the last thing I'll say is the devs are insanely passionate about this game. I'm not just saying it to say it, man. Like, I mean it. Whenever I was playing this game, the first person I actually played the game with was a dev. And that was like through random queuing through the game, and that was crazy. And recently when I played it again, I was doing some random games with a buddy of mine, Zenny Phantom, and again, I met a dev. Like, these people are here to help you learn the game, they're here to explain the mechanics, and they want people to understand what's going on so they can then give feedback. Like, it's just crazy. Like, the interaction that I have with the devs has only been helpful, only been good, and it's just been an enjoyable experience. Now, I will say that I might have said some things to offend some devs. I didn't know they were devs at the time. I apologize. And in closing, all I want to say is thank y'all for watching this video. I hope I helped you in some way. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like rating. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments. And if you, want some more games to play, I cover a game called Dauntless. It's pretty fun for me. And that's about it, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.